Alright, welcome back, Nick Lenz, Comic Corner Classic / Non-Classic. This is episode number 1442 and Doubleshot number 1336. Both these two trades are finales for two things. First up, what is Secret 6 Volume 2, The Gauntlet. This collects issues 7 to 14 of Secret 6 Volume 4. Yep, this is the end of this run. Of course, written by Gail Simone. Artwork by a couple different artists on here. Yep. You have Tom Durant and Dale Inglesham. Now, there are roughly two story arcs here. First of which is a story arc involving a lot of the magical universe trying to stop black. Basically, magic is being affected and, well, in the DC universe, and they need to stop Black Alice from absorbing all magic. And we have pretty much, almost every single, and I kid you not about this, every single, how should I put this? Every single magic user in the DC universe, and I do mean everybody, except John Constantine. They said they tried to contact him, but he was unavailable. Yeah, this is basically like that. And of course, this group did pop up again after this in the pages of the first Dark, Just Like Dark. And who do we have showing up for this party? For these people, we have, let's see, we have Black Orchid, we have Monfort from the pages Just Like United. This is actually your first appearance since the book ended. We have Defense Stranger, Felix Faust, Deadman, Cheetah, Frankenstein's Monster, I think it's Morgan Le Fay, Blue Demon, Eclipso, Swamp Thing, I think that's Mr. E, if I'm not mistaken. I think this is Baron Winters. Yeah. These are the only ones. Oh no, not the only ones. Let's see. We also have others per se. Yes. We also have Zatanna. Yep. I think at the time this came out, this was actually her first appearance since the end of Just Like Dark that she's shown up. Yep. We also have appearance by the Cheetah. Yep, still in the 20th Daniel design before she got redesigned for Rebirth by Liam Sharp. Yep. And we also have a guest appearance by Etrigan the Demon. Yes, Jason Blood's here as well. And this pretty much takes up issues, I think it's 7 through 9, I think it is. It takes the first few issues of this trade. And this is great. My guess is the reason why DC was doing this. Now, this came out roughly in, I think it was 2015 this came out. So, this was actually coming out, I would say, either just prior or around the same time that Marvel was experimenting with this, where their magic was in trouble too with Doctor Strange. And it's an absolute great story arc. They do kind of resolve very, of course, magic gets kind of fixed by the very end. But next story arc is quite interesting. So, they have appearance by Lady Shiva. Yep, Lady Shiva. I'm trying to remember. I think the last book she appeared in prior to this that I could think of was probably in Red Hood and the Outlaws when James Henry IV was running the book. That's the last time I could think of she popped up. And she's here with the League of Assassins. You might be thinking, League of Assassins? Where's Ra's al Ghul and Talia? Nowhere to be seen there. This is the offshoot branch of theirs. And why are they here? For Strix. Yep, we're here for Mary. We also have a guest appearance in here by Batgirl. Yep, Batgirl. And I figured I'm thinking why not? After all, Gail Simone did an excellent run of the book. Though she's not the only superhero who pops up in this book. Oh no. We also have frickin' Superman pop up here too. Yep, Superman's here. Though he's in the Jim Lee outfit. Though this would be quite neat. If you read any comic reading this comic point in time, he had basically kind of like a special collar. Though at the time these issues was coming out, this is when Dark 2 was going on. I thought this was kind of weird. The fact that you have Superman here in his new 52 attire. Yep, with the Katarian armor. Yeah, there's no reason for this at all. We also have appearances by Scandal Savage and her wives. Knockout is here too, along with the other wife. My guess is this is basically another version of, probably a continuation of a plot thread that Gail Simone established at the end of the previous ongoing series for Secret Six that ended in 2011. where Knockout, of course, not Knockout, it was Scandal Savage who proposed both to Knockout, her girlfriend, and this other girlfriend of hers to a polygamous marriage. So, yeah, she's got 2 wives. And at one point in the book, she's in bed with both of them. I'm like, Scandal, you lucky girl. You got 2 smoking hot women basically with you. Yeah. Oh, yeah, and by the way, when they do this, they basically have it where she's contacting Catman, of all people, to be a donor for theirs because they want a baby. Yep, because they want a baby. But here's the thing. Who's getting donation? Is it Knockout? Nope. Is it Scandal? Nope. It's the third woman. Yep, she's the one getting pregnant, which I think that was kind of weird. I thought, like, okay, why not Scandal Savage? That would be interesting, or at least Knockout. I thought that bit was actually quite nice. I like the fact Gail Simone brought in Scandal Savage and her wives. That basically was really nice of Gail Simone to do that. And the fight basically were, oh yeah, and they have one plot thread that I'm particularly very happy. I think a lot of people are very happy this plot thread got wrapped before the series wrapped up. Was the whole thing with Sue Dibney. Oh yeah, and Mr. Big is actually, well, he is Ralph Dibney, a.k.a. the Elongated Man. Though, of course, he's still in the big bulky attire. Yes, he had the big bulky look until once Sue announces to him, tells him that she's basically recovered from her amnesia, which I thought that was so cool. And this actually happened just prior to the end of the book, which I thought that was so neat that Gail Simone decided to do this, where he gets back basically his memory. She gets back her memories, and then he puts on his Elongated Man costume, which I don't mind the color scheme of this one. Nope, but you can definitely tell, yep, it's the Elongated Man costume, which I thought this was so cool. Yep. Now, they do have it by the end of the book where Porcelain herself gets into a relationship with somebody in the book. Also, have the Crooked Cop pop here again. And of course, to kind of wrap up Mary's thread here, they also cover up her little scars she's got in her face. Yeah, where its face is like perfectly fine. Oh yeah, she also tells Batgirl she loves her boots. So she just gives her boots that she's wearing. Yeah, and also during the course of the storyline, the ventriloquist Gail Simone created stabs Catman in the back and disables, well, he also appearance by frickin' Ragdoll. That was quite cool. Yes, Ragdoll. And Justine, I think her name is. Yeah, she basically ends up making out with Porcelain later. Yeah. And well, Mary herself does get a little happy ending here, which I thought was really cool. Yeah, and her fight with Lady Shiva is so cool. Yep. And of course, Shauna herself gets locked up in Arkham Asylum. Freddy, nothing really much happens with him at all. Not really, no. But every hero gets pretty much like a happy ending. And as far as I can tell for this book, they do have an appearance in here by, of all people, Aquaman. Yes, Aquaman pops up in this story. People are thinking, really? Why the heck would Aquaman appear in Secret Six? Well, he did. Well, I get the reason why Batgirl pops up in here because of her connection to Mary. That's fine. Not much of a problem there. It's just that him battling frickin' Aquaman. Aquaman's appearance here is so, like, out of left field. Though at the time when he appeared in this book, he is not wearing his outfit that he wore at the start of the New 52. Nope. He is wearing the outfit from the Colin Bunn run for the book. A run, like here it is right here. Here's Aquaman. Yep, Aquaman. Now, why the heck would Gail Simone throw in Aquaman? I have no idea. As far as I can tell, there's really no reason for this at all. Excuse me, but Okay, yeah, basically it's kind of unintentional, like 3 trades in a row and all feature Aquaman. Yeah, this was unintentional. But yes, this book is fantastic. This book, a 9.5 out. I love the fact Ever gets sort of a wrap up here. Final thoughts on this run for Secret Six. This is the fourth volume for the series. This series is fantastic. No bad issue. This whole series, all really good. I love all the characters in here. Everybody's written really well. Gail Simone does a great job of this book. Great return for the book. At the time this book came out, it had been just 3 years since she basically last wrote some of these characters. Now, when the series first started, Catman, who had not been seeing this continuity, she brought him in, despite the fact she technically is not the creator of Catman. She is, however, the creator of Black Alice. Yep, brought her in. So, now, basically this book is populated by a few characters who are, in fact, Gail Simone creations. That being Black Alice, who actually she brought into continuity, along with the female ventriloquist, Freddy, and, of course, Strix, who she had her first appear in the pages of her run for Batgirl, which I thought was really cool. And, of course, they also had, well, some new characters like Porcelain, Jolene, which I believe this character was also featured in the previous volume for Secret Six, which I thought was really cool. And the fact that they also had Mockingbird here as well, because of course they had to have Mockingbird. No, not Bob Morris. No, Secret Six has always had sort of a secret benefactor, usually a Mockingbird. The original was some random guy who was basically associated with the original Secret Six from the 70s. The one that Gail Simone created, it was actually Lex Luthor was the Mockingbird. For this one, it was, get this, the Riddler. Yep, the Riddler. The only problem I have with this book was the publication schedule this book had. Oh boy. Like, they released the first 2 issues. Like, the first issue I think came out in November. I think it was like 2014. And then issue 2 didn't come out until about 3 months later. And then after issue 2 came out, we did see another issue come out about 4 freaking months. Actually, it was February. It came out to freaking June because Converge basically caused this book on hiatus for a couple months. And from that point forward, it was publication fine. Why the delay? No idea. But that's the only problem I have with this book. Was a delay between issues 2 and between the first, second, third issues. Yeah, the delay there was completely unnecessary. Alright, moving on to a different book. This is Batman, The Resurrection of Ra's al Ghul. Yeah, this is the crossover that happened back in 2000, and the only time Grant Morrison, when he worked on Batman, that actually had a crossover. And this book contains everything related to the crossover. Which this crossover had Batman A number 26, which I believe this was the third to last annual published for Batman prior to DC relaunch. Robin A number 7. This was actually the first annual published since A number 6, published back in the 90s. And this was the last ever annual published for Robin. We also have Batman 670 to 671. Robin volume, well, we kind of count this volume 2 now. Issues 160 and 169. Though after this crossover, I think this book managed to last for about, let's see. I think it managed to last about 14 issues before it actually ended. Yeah. Both this book and Nightwing later ended a little over a year after this crossover wrapped up. Nightwing, of course, has volume 2 issues 130, 139. And Detective Comics 830, 839. The primary players to this storyline: Batman, the Tim Drake Robin, Nightwing. If in case you're wondering, did Cassandra Cain play a role in this story? No, she did not, surprisingly. Talia al Ghul is in the story, along with Damian, who was running around in Robin costumes, but he wasn't officially Robin just yet. Yeah, he didn't become Robin until about, I think it was about 2 years later he became Robin. And the whole thing with this story is that we're bringing back Ra's al Ghul, who died back in the miniseries Death of Maidens. And also, one little fun factor about this storyline is that Batman enters sort of style of Fountain of Youth, and it de-ages his body about 5 years. Where at the time this book was coming out, he was pushing 40, and I guess though apparently it's called Spring of Youth is what this thing is called. He takes a dip in this thing, and it de-ages him about 5 or 6 years. But basically, he has the body of a man in his early 30s, despite the fact he's pushing 40. Though for some reason, Grant Morrison had him stuck at age 37 throughout his whole run. Do not know why, but that's simply the way it is when it comes to Batman. And we also have Merlin the Archer pop up here. Yes, Merlin the Archer. As in the enemy of Green Arrow. Yeah, for some reason he's working for the League of Villains. Not League of Villains, the League of Assassins. Ra's does get resurrected in this storyline. And here's something interesting though. Like, okay, the woman technically responsible for killing him, Nyssa, is nowhere to be seen. Also, if you read Death of the Maidens, Nyssa pretty much brainwashed Talia. She killed her and then resurrected her multiple times before she finally got back normal. Also, she apparently decided to have it where Talia had be stripped naked. She basically killed her, stripped her naked, killed her, and brought her back multiple times in the Lazarus pit in order to get her on their side. Yeah, that's the way Chuck Dixon wrote it. Not kidding about that. Though Nyssa herself didn't really appear much after. I think her name was Nyssa Rinku, I think her name was. Because she hated Ra's, so she never took her last name. She took it like a different name. Though in Arrow, she actually had the Al Ghul last name. But in here, nope, it's Rinku. Does Ra's himself get resurrected in this storyline? Yes, in the body of his son. Yeah, that's creepy. And then, of course, he takes dip and he gets her back normal. And in the case of Ra's himself, of course, he was planning on, get this, resurrecting the body of his own grandson, Damien. Yep. There was also thought of bringing back Jack Drake, Stephanie Brown, which, by the way, they actually retconned her dying. Chuck Dixon hated the fact they killed her off, so he basically brought her back and Gotham Underground, which they later expanded upon in Robin. And Connor Kent, aka Superboy. Yeah, he was considered bringing him back. Probably because at the time this book came out, it had been a year since his death. Yeah, so he was thinking of bringing back his father, his girlfriend, and his best friend. I'm sure my friend Tim, when he reads, like, wow, he was thinking of bringing back Connor with the Lazarus Pit? Wow, that was something. And he decided not to do it. Nope, he basically passed the bonnet, which is quite shocking for him. Yeah, this, of course, is an excellent story arc. Love it. I give this one a 9.5 out of 10. It's a damn good storyline. Also, Alpha plays a role in here. Yes, Alpha plays a small role in this book. Because a lot of times he doesn't do much of anything. And he actually pilots. Yes, he pilots a private plane to Nana Parbat, which is where one of the Lazarus Pits is. Okay. I give this book roughly a 9.5 out of 10. Great book. Now, Grant Morrison himself does write a small chunk of the story. This book has many writers aside from Grant Morrison. You also have Paul Dini, Peter Mulligan, Keith Champagne, and Fabian DeCisa. The artwork in here is by David Lopez, Jason Pearson, Tony Estino, Freddie Williams, Don Kramer with Carl Rodriguez, Ryan Benjamin, Dave Baudin, and that's it. Yeah, they don't list up the cover artists in here, surprisingly. No, they don't, but this book is great. Alright, final thoughts on Grant Morrison's time on Batman. Wow. It took a while, but I pretty much covered everything for Grant Morrison's time on Batman. And I do mean everything. Like, who would have thunk that this was his first official thing he did? Well, technically it was a tech story, but this is where he got his start. This story arc for Legends of Dark Knight. Yeah, this is where he started with. And then did nothing for years, and then he did the awesome Batman Son. This collected a lot of issues, though for some reason it did not include issues 659 to 662. I think the two issues that are not in here are in here, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. Yeah. The two issues actually they're not in this trade here, are actually in here. And of course goes straight to 675. Yeah, a lot of Grant Morrison issues. And then you had this, R.I.P., which was a really good story. That this book only contained from issues 6. It was 676, 683. And then, of course, right after that, we had a couple different minor things happen. Like, What Happened to Cape Crusader, that was first. They had that one minor crossover with Detective Comics, which led into the Batman and Robin stuff. Yep, because right after he wrapped up his own for this book, he did Final Crisis, and then, of course, Resurrection of Batman right afterwards. He did work on the main Bat book, per se, after Battle for the Cow. Yeah, Battle for the Cow, that was done by Tony S. Daniel. He basically started the Batman and Robin comic book, which was really, really good. His run took up the first 16 issues of the 26-issue run. It was all Batman Return, and then came the Batman Inc. series, which was awesome. Really good. And I think this run lasted for about 9 issues, I believe it did. It didn't last for long because the New 52 happened. And then after that, nothing for about 2 years. And then they brought it back, and then, of course, you have this right here, which is the second trade for. I got this for Christmas one year. Yeah, so with this, basically continued his Batman Inc. run, and that ended his Batman run for about 5 years. That was until he did this. He did one shot for this particular storyline here. Yeah, which he did, let's see. Excuse me. He did one of these one shots in here. Let me look up. Yeah, this actually was the first time he returned to Batman in quite some time. Yeah, this actually was his first Batman story. I think he worked on. Did he work on this one here? Because I know he worked on one of these one shots. Yeah, for him it was Return to Batman. For the first time since, well, his Batman Inc. run ended, which was actually back in 2013. Let's see if I can find it here. Oh, in case you're wondering, it's actually raining where I'm at right now. Yeah, it's raining out. Let's see. Because I know he worked on one of these issues. I'm trying to find out which one he did. It is not this one here. I think he worked on... Did he work on this one? No. I know he worked on one of these issues here. Oh yeah, he worked on Wild Hunt. Yeah, Dark Knight Rising Wild Hunt. He worked on this one shot here. And then he did... And this is the most recent thing he did for Batman. He did a story for Detective Comics 1027, which was a really good issue. Yeah. But that's pretty much it for Grant Morrison's time for Batman. Yeah, Grant Morrison did a lot of really good stuff for Batman. Good bunch of issues, but for some reason he likes skipping issues for some reason. Do not know why, but that was the thing for him. Yeah, on the main book, he was on the book about 2 or 3 years, and then he did a couple other books, and then that was it. I mean, mostly put, his returns have been sporadic over the years, like doing a one shot and like a couple issues, and that's pretty much it. Yep. So yeah, that's that particular review. I have one more video I'm gonna do today. That's review for Batman. Barge. That'll be pretty much it for today. Okay, same video. Bye.